So in this video we are going over foot rooting for both the squat, and it changes a little bit for deadlift, or does it not? It does a little bit. I'm going to be the dummy. They're going to be teaching. So
we switch this time.
We're switching. All right, so this one's going to be very, very important. I've reached out to guys like, or places like Kabuki Strength, and they talked heavily with foot, and they say, how did I phrase this? I asked them, like, can you really get good rooting of your feet in shoes? The short answer is no. You can't practice it in shoes. You have to actually do this stuff out of shoes. I particularly like doing this stuff and this work barefoot on turf before rubber floor to get the feel of it, and then using a kettlebell in a deep squat pattern, like a prying position. But that's my thought process. You might have a different thought process as well.
That's where we're at. So this is very, very important. A lot of problems, stem from just not rooting correctly. So the big thing that we want to do, we're talking, hip issues, knee cave, knee, flaring out, back, it's like, back bending over. So there's a lot of different crazy things that just stem from the feet and improperly rooting. So that's what we kind of want to go over today. I kind of just explained it a million times. So we wanted to kind of just do this so we can just kick the video out to you guys, and it'll be a lot easier.
Right.
So basically what we want to do is, looking at, if this is your feet, if these are your feet, what we want to do is just spread those toes out as much as possible. When we talk about rooting, we're actually talking about there's a lot of different cues for that, like screwing your feet into the ground. Basically just you're here, you're not actually moving your feet, you're actually screwing yourself into the ground. So you're here, and then you're here. So I don't want to see like this, and then your feet skew out. Okay, so we want this, screwing your hips, screwing your feet into the ground. And then what I want to do is, before you engage your squat, I actually want you guys to curl your toes in a little bit. What that's going to do, so it's like, it's like the eagle talon, like you're getting that, or you're trying to get the feeling of like curling your toes in the sand. That's a really good one that I really like. So what you want to do is screw in, curl your toes in a little bit. What this is going to do is you're going to actually activate and fire your adductor. So when you come down, you're actually going to be more controlled. The big thing that we have is, when we come down, you see a lot of guys just they take in their breath, they take in their brace, they slam into the hole. What we want to do is have more control. So what we're going to do is come in, going to do this, curl in. So when we're actually going down into the squat, it's a little bit slower, but the contraction's there, and then we're coming down, you're going to be more controlled. So that adductor is still firing. When you hit the hole, your adductor's still hot, so you're going to go from hitting the hole to coming back up, and so it's not just going to be such a huge shock to your adductors. We have a lot of people, myself included, I've blown out my adductor. I had a grade 2 tear in my adductor when I was in flats. So if you're in flats, it's actually really good to have flats, because you can kind of get shoes with a wider toe box. The problem is that you need to make sure that you're kind of rooting correctly, because it actually puts a lot more stress on your adductor because you're not leaned forward. So that's one of those things. So when you're coming down, you want to make sure that you're tight, because your adductor, you're actually going a little bit lower, and it's a little bit different angle. So when you actually fire, if you're not doing that with your adductor, it goes from basically 0 to 100, and it puts a lot of stress on your adductor and kind of puts you at risk. Learning from experience, and then learning 2 years later why it happened was pretty big for me. But we want to make sure that we're rooting in, scrunching our toes, and then a little bit more advanced. We got to get this down first, but a little bit more advanced is actually kicking this out. So you're actually trying to separate the floor. So you're here, root in, and then you're actually separating the floor out here, but you make sure that big toe's down. So you're actually just lining everything up. When you do stuff like this, you're going to see stuff. You're going to see your hips and your knees. Everything's going to kind of get you completely locked in. So when you actually drop down in the squat, it's only letting you go down in one direction. So when you come down, it should actually lock in most of your form issues and problems, because you're so tight, you're so locked in with your feet and everything else that you can only go down in one position. Anything else is going to be very, very weird feeling.
Good point. I kind of think of it this way, and I gave this the example earlier this week, is you almost want to feel like your feet have become part of the earth, and that you're this is kind of weird. You're kind of like Groot from
Roots.
You're building roots. You're Groot. All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's kind of fun. You want to feel like you're part of the earth, because when you can do that, there's not this dancing around with your foot. Your ankles aren't slipping out. You're not changing where that knee is driving. With what John just said, when you're at the bottom of the hole in a squat, those adductors are almost about as long as they can get. I mean, it's not a full like split position, but they're as long as they need to be in the squat position. They are shortening just like glutes are shortening as you're coming back up out of the hole. With that, we use, again, Pales Raise with the adductors as well as the hip as therapy or as rehab, prehab. So, I'm going to get into the position.
Yep.
Perfect. It's rolling.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do with Dr. Bird's feet right now is we're going to have him root in. So go ahead and spread the toes. Okay. Okay. Root. Screw your feet in. Okay. Scrunch.
I don't think I can scrunch anymore.
Okay. And then push those heels away. Okay. And then go down. Okay. So what we're doing is we're putting points of pressure, like the tripod. We're going to put a point of pressure here, here, and then back. And then what we're going, you can come back up so you don't die. But what we want to do is just make sure that we're spreading our toes out, we're screwing ourselves in, scrunching the toes in, pushing the floor out, and then just making sure everything's there. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to line everything up so when he starts to drop down, everything in his hips, knees, everything should be in a line. One good cue, and we want to start with the feet, is when you go down, you almost want your knee to actually go along the path of your big toe. So you kind of want that there. If it's not, you just want to make sure, you want to make sure that you're kind of lining those things up. But we don't want to fix the knee at the knee. So if we have some problems with his track of his knee, we want to fix it with the foot first. So it's kind of like what was I saying earlier? Fix the sink, or fix the well, not the sink. You actually got to fix the root of the problem, since we're using that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So if we have some problems with the feet, we got to make sure, or we have problems with the knee, we need to make sure our feet are lined up. Same thing with the hip. So if all that stuff's going, how it's supposed to be, go ahead and dunk it. We're good. And so the big thing here is just make sure those feet are spread. You're screwing yourself in, getting a good strong base, and then practice.
Okay. Okay, so this is foot rooting, kind of like basic stuff. This takes time to work on. The same concepts apply when you're addressing a new skill. You've got to do repetitions to get better at it. It's okay if your feet feel like they're going to cramp when you're doing a new exercise. Your muscles are trying to understand what you're asking them to do, basically, and to get better and stronger at it. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
And so just make sure you guys are practicing. Don't go too fast. This is going to be something that's going to build you a really strong base. When I first learned this, I've slowly kind of added and learned more over the years. But one day I just kind of broke it down. I sat at a rack for 20-30 minutes with just the bar, and then I moved up to a plate. Probably did like 3 or 4 sets of 10. Same thing, 2 plates, 3 plates, 4 plates. And by the time I get to 5 plates, everything feels lined up, but I've actually got 100 reps, with this new movement. So I want to make sure that you guys are, getting these movements in, getting it practiced up. For anybody that's been around for me for, more than a couple minutes, we want to practice till we can't get it wrong, not till we get it right. So just keep practicing, and when it starts to get heavy, then your body will just take over because you already know how to do it. So.
Perfect. Right on. Okay. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, reach out.
Thanks, guys.